Hi you guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at Trustee Kiana Belcher and all of the times that she has tried to keep Tiffany Henyard honest. I know it's an impossible feat, okay? I understand that. But we're just going to be looking at some old board meetings, some clips from there. You guys, I'm sorry my voice is a little on the fritz. I think I'm just really tired. So I'm not going to be talking that much throughout this video, but before we get started, if you're new here and you like what you hear, go ahead and leave this video a like. And if you're a returning subscriber, please don't forget to leave it a like too. Let's get started.
So if you guys came out, I want to thank you, because you sat through that because you wanted to see change in Dolton. And I do want to say change is here. We do have a new board, so I'm proud to say that the new board is excited to show you guys this wonderful unity amongst our board.
Trustee Belcher.
Present.
I want to yield the floor to my board of trustees and let you guys speak to the residents as it relates to any new incoming trustees and all my senior trustees. So I'll give the floor to the incoming trustees first. Trustee Kiana Belcher.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to thank everyone that came out to vote, all of the citizens of the Village of Dolton, our families that sacrificed their time during campaign, friends, words of encouragement from everyone. We started off strong. You know, we're going to be the dream team. It's going to be about change. We're going to work together. We're going to make sure that we get things done and start doing what's best for the Village of Dolton. So we're a new administration. Everything that it's going to take time for us to work together to get stuff, but we are here for the village. And thank you again for allowing me to serve as your village trustee. Quick question. The motion was to approve for the affordable party planner, and then it stated to send the other items to the warrant list. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So them being put on the warrant list, does that mean that the village is still going to pay for them?
Correct.
Or it's still up for a vote. You know, it's still up for a vote. Anything on the warrant list is still up for a vote.
Okay, I just needed clarity. Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion and second on the floor. Please call the roll, Clerk Q.
Trustee Holmes, absent. Trustee Norwood. Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
No.
So Trustee Kiana Belcher was not having it, so she went ahead and voted no.
Is the village responsible for paying for everything for the inauguration?
Yes.
Were we at a dollar amount, set dollar amount, or no?
Okay, so we are responsible for paying for anything at inauguration. The reason being is it was an actual legal board meeting. So anything that we acquire as an expense, we can pay for it. It's legal. I can also have the attorney chime in if you like to give the legal explanation of why the village is at risk of paying for inauguration.
So you see the wording she's using. It was technically a board meeting. Let me get the attorney to explain to you why the village might be at risk for paying for the inauguration.
Okay, was it not a board vote, or no? It didn't need to be approved, or no?
No, but I'm gonna let her speak to you. So
okay.
So we reviewed the local ordinances and rules, and there is a special event fund that already accommodates these types of events. And because it was a public meeting and it was catered to the public, I understand, I believe one of the invoices was actually the food invoice for the food vendor. This was no different than any other special event that was approved by the village. It was a public board meeting, and that's why it was appropriate. And there's a prior appropriation for these expenses in your budget for the special events, and you had public attendees, and you basically fed the public, and it was conducted in that proper manner. So that's why it would be okay for you to approve the expenditures relating to that meeting.
Okay, is there no certain amount, or it's just
within the budget Just there was no amount for, as far as the total amount for the inauguration. It would just come out of your special committee fund and you spend down until you exhaust the budgeted amount.
Okay.
So basically, she can just spend willy-nilly on whatever she wants for special events. That's basically what's being said.
Mayor, I had a question. So she said it's coming out of the special event budget. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's based on 2022?
We're in budget now, so it will come out of that budget.
In the budget that we don't have yet.
Correct.
That's what I'm asking.
And not have an actual budget. So that means that that's how y'all run y'all households, but we don't run our household that way.
We're in budget now, so it will come out of that budget.
In the budget that we don't have yet.
Correct.
You gotta have a budget in place to know what you're going to spend, how you're going to spend.
And then she said one other thing. She stated that it was approved, but who was it approved by if it came out the budget?
No, I don't believe the attorney said that it was approved by any.
That's why I was trying to get.
Okay,
it was going in and out, so I wanted to get clarity.
Okay.
That's all.
She said it didn't need to be approved. It didn't need to be approved because it was coming out the special event fund. So it didn't need approval, board approval.
But I thought over a certain amount it needs board approval.
Exactly.
You can still give board approval. I didn't see anything that required a prior approval when it's already accounted for in your funding.
It might need board approval so they know what's going on for the little thing called transparency that Tiffany just ran off of. And that's why she got her seat right now.
When you ran on my ticket, you followed my vision, right?
Okay.
Just one other question, attorney. So you can go ahead and spend these funds and then approve it later? Is that what you're saying?
You can spend funds and get board ratification. As long as there's appropriation for it and the budget for it, the board can ratify the actions. Just like when you do a poll vote on action items and then you approve it at the next board meeting, it's similar to that.
Yes, you can absolutely just spend whatever you want and then go try to force the board to approve it later.
Amend the motion and pay for their items so we can continue with their roof and their windows and the rink over here, the ice rink that we're building now. Put that back in there. And any other trustee can amend that as well that's sitting up here.
Like we see Tiffany doing most of the time in the newest board meetings.
So y'all let me know if anybody gonna amend it because we're gonna be right here until we fix this.
Yes, Mayor. I have a question. How much money is in our special events budget?
It's a fund, but Chris, are you on?
Yes, Mayor.
Can you tell her how much money is in that fund?
If she is spending the money out of a fund, out of a certain special events fund, you would think she would know off the top of her head how much money is actually in there. But since it's not her money, I don't think she really cares.
We have budgeted for special events $30,000.
From my understanding, anything above $5,000 has to come before the board. But when special events, you're saying that we can spend that money before it's actually approved if it's over $5,000? Is that what the attorney's saying? That we can spend this money over $5,000 that needs board approval, but we can spend that before we actually approve?
Well, that's what I was saying. If it does it require prior approval under your local ordinance for special events? There was nothing that I saw that required prior approval, but each of these expenses were under the $5,000, and that's why we're bringing it to the board currently to approve those individual expenses.
So what happened is they split up the invoices so that none of them reached over $5,000 each. And these are the kind of tactics she's coming in doing just to get away with spending as much money as she wants to, with no regard to their budget and to what the citizens have to pay extra for.
There wasn't any one expense that was over $5,000, but they're being brought to you collectively for approval. And when you totaled them all up, they're all within the budgeted amount or the amount that was approved and set aside for special event funds.
I did not spend $5,000 at one time. Just like you see invoices here, you might see $1,000 for video footage or $450 for photos, and then it adds up. So I never spent over my threshold of $5,000.
Based on this, and we've been in office a month tomorrow, $15,000 of the special event budget has already almost been depleted.
It's not her money, so it's the taxpayers' money. So she's not adding anything up. Like I said, she just admitted it. She's just out spending willy-nilly, frilly-pilly all over the place.
Well, I don't want to say you're right because I haven't added it up.
It's based upon expenditure.
So as long as so you're saying as long as one invoice is not $5,000, then it can be spent without the board approval. I just want clarity, and I would like to know the ordinance number at a later date of what you're reading from.
Okay, I can get you that opinion. Okay, I can get you that opinion.
I just want clarity, and I would like to know the ordinance number.
I didn't interpret it as an individual, I interpret it as a collectively, but the big thing is that we all communicate so that way we're on the same page.
Okay, you done?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, so for the record, Board of Trustees, I respect everybody to the utmost here. All I want you guys to do is, if you have all these questions, you guys just saw me, just met with all of you guys. And if you had questions, concerns, or anything, we could have went over it instead of doing it here, which you guys know, the public said they don't like it this way. So that's why I extended the olive branch and sat and met with everybody. So if you had concerns like you do now, as related to any item on this warrant list, we could have went over it. My door would still be open. I'll answer any questions. So Trustee Belcher, if you do have another question, let's put it on the floor and move on.
Okay, so just for a comment and for the record, I don't think that you saying that the people said that they don't want to see it. I don't think we're bickering at all. We're asking questions, that's valid questions. And just like things that's being put in front of us, if somebody has a question and you say, yeah, we were together, but we couldn't talk about business. So, I mean, we could be together, and if we can't talk about business, that doesn't suffice. So I don't think that we're bickering at all. So I don't want you to think that just because somebody asked a question or it's not of what you believe, it's a question that I'm just asking. So I'm sorry if you feel that I'm being combative, but I want to know.
So if any of you guys ever have a comment, concern, or issue, I'm up. I stay up till 1 a.m. You could call my phone and ask me about anything as it relates to village business, is what I'm saying to any of you guys. We don't necessarily meet in person. We could do it over the phone if you guys like. So I'm just saying that publicly once again. So I hope that all of our relationships get better moving forward.
So I don't see why everybody keep want to push things further back. You can ask your questions now. The staff is here. They can answer any questions that the board may have. I know that this was on agenda 2 weeks ago, and we stopped and did not have a actual hearing. So this is the hearing that we're having today to talk about the budget. Attorney, just correct me, we did have a hearing, but it went nowhere. So this is the second attempt of a hearing. So if the board members have any discussion regarding any of the items, please ask your questions.
Okay, you just said this was a committee of the whole meeting. I thought it was a special meeting because we're voting on items. Also, the email that did go out, the trustee's house, is in reference to the elaboration of the budget, because it's all summarized and clumped together versus being itemized as it was never responded to. There are some concerns on this budget. Once again, we got it on May 2nd, I believe, at 3:26. You wanted us to talk about it and discuss it at a public hearing for the residents. The residents hadn't even been eligible to look at it because we had just got it a couple of hours before the meeting. And then you keep saying contact the department heads for them to get back to us with questions, but nobody, either they're dragging their feet or not getting to us. At this moment right now, I am uncomfortable to even attempt to approve this budget because of what I've seen over the last 10 months has put me into a scare of where we would be by December at the rate that things are going. So I am not comfortable at all voting on this budget tonight.
So for the record, we did not ask for a vote. We asked for a discussion. So now, if everybody's up here paying attention, it is discussion to talk about your concerns as a trustee. Next on the agenda is approvals. Discussion and approval
Discussion and approval
of ordinance 22- adopting the 2022-2023 annual appropriation ordinance budget.
On the agenda, it says discussion and approval. So please don't come at me like I can't read. It says discussion and approval, meaning that if it's discussed and we agree, we will be voting on it tonight. So please don't do that, Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, so trustee, if you read, you just made a, how do I say this to you so you can get it right and put it in layman's term. Put it in layman's term.
How can I say this to try to make her look stupid and make myself sound sophisticated and educated? That's what she's thinking.
You just made a motion to discuss only. So that means we're doing what? Discussing only. That means there's not a motion on the floor for approval.
That's not.
So what I'm asking again, instead of us going over words, let's talk about the budget. The budget right now, as it stands, is up for discussion for the Board of Trustees to discuss whatever their concerns are as a whole. So obviously you don't have any discussion. So moving on. Okay, go ahead.
It's discussion and approval. Last year, we went through every budget item line by line, which takes hours. We cannot pass this without it being public. It's not on the website. This is $26 million of budget, village finances, taxpayers' money that we can't just brush off like it's something easy. All we're asking is to take the time like we did last year. The first year we passed the budget, we sat down right here with the village administrator right there and went through every line with the finance director. When you were a trustee, we would have to present the budget to the board. It wasn't on a meeting like this. It would be one meeting for the budget, and you went through every line. We're not doing that now.
She's trying to rush past it, just trying to get them to just vote blindly, which is something she never would have done as a trustee, you guys. Let's go ahead and take a trip back in time and look at Trustee Tiffany Henyard and her thoroughness of the budget, of the line items she had questions about. Let's just go ahead and have a little look-ski at how she would handle these certain situations with the previous mayor and his administration.
Took it down to 25,000.
Why so low?
Well, you only spent $77.50 the year prior.
Well, I understand that, but you already know my issue. Everybody do trees. So I prefer it to stay where it's at. I understand we're doing cuts, but a lot of residents complain about getting their tree trimmed or tree cut down. So I think that budget amount should stay where it's at so we can increase that.
They used to have these finance committee meetings where she would attend and she would go over the budget line by line. But it seems now that she's mayor, she's totally forgotten about that.
Well, can we increase that line? I know that don't sound right because I know we're doing budget cuts.
That falls in your part.
Well, my vote is to increase that line. I know you dropped it to 10. I know we do need it. I get a ton of complaints about it, which you know. I hit your email up, your phone up. So we need to increase tree cut.
But let's do that again. We've done that for the past 8 years.
I'm not saying to add to it. I'm saying he cut his budget too much. I get calls left or right about cutting down a tree or trimming it, either or.
When you were a trustee, we would have to present the budget to the board. It wasn't on a meeting like this. It would be one meeting for the budget, and you went through every line. We're not doing that now.
So all I'm saying is that he needs to increase it more. He cut it too much. That's what I'm saying.
For the tree trimming, it was reduced from 50,000 to 10,000. That was not something that Matt and myself did. That was actually a recommendation of Mr. Kemp. That's his amended budget.
Oh, you know, it's a definitely no for me.
So that's
no, definitely no.
We're not saying we're against the budget. We're just saying be transparent with it.
I don't listen to Mr. Kemp, but you do know that. You run our day-to-day operations. I wish the board would respect that. They should ask you your opinion, and when you give your opinion, it should be noted, and we should all come to one agreement with that. I think it should be half, 25,000 for tree trim.
I have 25, so if you look in column O, 221,
I see it.
I cut it from 50 to 25.
Well, I agree with that.
So as relates to us doing it the right way, I stand on transparency. So when it comes to the budget items, you guys have time to look it over. All I'm asking, if you had 20 questions, why didn't you submit 20 questions to any other department head so they could answer the questions that you needed answered?
Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding ordinance number 21 - amending ordinance 1-6-4 powers and duties. Trustee House.
I will say I put this up here specifically because there are a couple of times that I made phone calls in to department heads and they were instructed that the administration or mayor or administration would not allow for that. So I'm asking that we move this forward so that way the department heads have the access to make sure that they speak with the board members to get the information we're looking for.
Well, I hate to hear that because I never instructed anybody not to give you any payroll reports. Why would I do that? I just told you that I said you couldn't have it. Is that what you're stating now? Or what are you stating?
Yes.
I didn't get the question.
Yes.
Okay, that's the question. Okay, Chris, come on.
So last time we spoke about this, it was my understanding that the board to run these through you, these payroll reports that basically are the earnings from each payroll and the differences between last payroll and current payroll, and the subsequent report that's attached to that of any new changes in payroll. So any new hires, any changes in salaries, any of those types of items. Last we spoke, I was to run those through you.
Chris, that's not true as it relates to run through me, as it relates to payroll reports. I tell you, just like I tell anybody, when anybody come in and ask for certain items, y'all know my phone number, call me and let me know. That's what I've told anybody that works here for me. So what I'm saying to you with a payroll report, why would I need you to give me the payroll report for the staff? Why would I need that? I don't need that. I got the same information that you're giving to the board. Why would I have to give you the okay to say, give them the payroll report or give them the warrant list? All those items, I've always told you to give it to them. Even when you told me that Jason came in and asked for it, I told you to what? Give it to him. So let's get it clear for the record since we're talking about it. So I don't have to lie about anything like that. That's why I'm saying it verbally out of my mouth to the board and you, Chris. And not only that, you are the chairperson of finance. So all the lies need to stop. That's why I keep saying to the board of trustees, call my phone. That's why I say that all the time, because people will lie, people will say anything to save themselves. So just call me.
I am so glad you just stated that publicly, because I've actually even put in a FOIA and haven't received anything as an elected official. And I also, myself and Trustee Norwood, has been on the phone with Chris, and we were directed that he had to speak to the mayor. So for you to say that you haven't said it, I applaud you that this has been publicly known, because the conversations that we've had in trying to get items that we want to verify before we make informed decisions has not been provided to us. So thank you for saying that, and hopefully the information that is being requested is provided to us in a timely manner, especially if it's something that we have to vote on. Because myself and Trustee Norwood have experienced that Chris stated it had to be emailed and I guess ran through you before it can come to us, and we still have not received the items.
Okay, so I know, again, nothing about that, and I just said it. I'm going to say it again for you. I just said it. Call my phone if you had a problem, Trustee Belcher. So obviously it wasn't big enough problem for you to call the mayor to get it addressed. So as it relates to FOIAs, I'm not over FOIAs. So let's get it clear when everybody keep putting stuff out there. The mayor don't do FOIAs. I don't respond to a FOIA. That's the clerk's office. So that's why I'm saying to you again publicly, I didn't say that. That's untrue as it relates to you guys getting information. And I just told Chris to give y'all the information that y'all need. So if it's something you need, make sure you get it from him. But I will say this and add this to it. You guys do not run day-to-day operations. As it relates to going into people's departments or interrupting their work schedule, you guys have to stop doing that and make sure that y'all either send them an email so that they can oblige to whatever it is that some of you guys go and request them of. So just make sure we can keep that in line, then it's fine. I have no issues.
All right, hold on. Thank you so much, Mayor. And in reference, just to clear up the FOIA situation, the only reason I FOIA'd it is because I wasn't able to get it. So I'm a resident before an elected official. So that was the only reason. So I understand that you're not over the clerk's office, but I just wanted to be clear on why I did that, because I tried to obtain it as being an elected official to make an informed decision and wasn't given the information. So that's the only reason that was done. So I just want to be very clear on that. Okay. But thank you so much.
Right, but you just stated that you FOIA something and didn't get it. And what I'm saying to you, if you didn't get it, I got nothing to do with FOIAs or whatever information come back from the FOIA officer, which is the clerk.
Oh my goodness, you guys. I really don't think Tiffany listens.
But go ahead, since you got something to say now.
I do have
Go
something
ahead.
to say. It's an electronic warrant list, electronic. Also, you made it very clear that these have been paid. Last meeting, which I said, and the finance director wasn't here at that time, but I'm so glad she's here now. She stated that we didn't have a credit card anymore because she said the trustees cut it off.
That's true.
Oh, okay. So if we don't have, I requested in the email, could we get the final statement? Because if we haven't received the credit card since May of 2023, and she stated that we cut it off, no documentation has showed that it's been cut off. So what card are they using outside of ACH debits?
You know, like I know, anybody that understand money know that you cannot see anybody's information when someone else is on the bank account.
It's
That
not
means
a
the
debit
credit card. Hold
It's a
on.
credit card. Not
That's
a
what I'm
debit
speaking
card.
of. You gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
That's what I said. We got to be respectful. You say your stuff, I'll be quiet. You got to be quiet when I talk.
I did want to just say in this particular interview, which I feel that I have to address, because everybody knows the January 2nd meeting where it was an issue about the credit cards and the credit card statement. The finance director, Tanjanique Miller, said that she had a copy of the email with the trustees had canceled the credit card.
Go ahead, finance director.
Our bank accounts do not have a debit card, to be clear. The credit cards are issued by the bank. The last card was canceled or suspended in June by whoever had administrative rights over that account, which is not anyone sitting up here.
Thank you.
That's staff.
I have sent several emails requesting a copy of this email saying that the credit cards have been canceled, because if we keep getting the electronic warrant list, that means somebody is swiping the cards somewhere down the line.
So the last statement that you received was in June for that account.
To this day, February 14th, still have not got a copy of that email. But then the mayor stated something that said that Trustee House and the clerk hijacked the bank account and nobody could see anything in the accounts.
So what I'm saying to you is that if you guys have done that, which y'all did as trustees, no one up here could see anything that y'all was doing for an entire year. We didn't have access to anything because Jason House was on the bank account, and so was Allison Key. The mayor wasn't on it. So we couldn't call, check up, check in, see what was going on, because you guys was the holders on the account.
So of course I had to go back and do my digging to get a copy of the email that came directly from the representative at Fifth Third Bank.
Okay, the last statement we received was in May. Janice Johnson had access to the account. So for mayor, for you to sit there and say only the clerk and Jason House, that's an absolute lie, because she cuts the check. So I'm sure she wasn't cutting the check blindly.
I'll make sure that you have a copy of it so you can present it to the world. But it says Jason House and Allison Key are signers on the Village of Dolton accounts. However, the current administrators for Fifth Third Direct online platform is Keith Freeman, Tanjanique Miller, and Janice Johnson.
So you're saying, she's saying they hijacked and that they couldn't see it.
And
but it's clearly
saying that Keith Freeman, Tanjanique Miller, and Janice Johnson were the ones that was actually can see anything that was going on. And then it goes on to state that the administrators are the ones that can cancel the credit cards.
So that's number one. Number two, I'm gonna let her respond to your question, because you get here at a board meeting and you know how to pick up the phone, call my phone. Hopefully you'll do that this year, since you said you want change and you want us to work together. It had to start by starting Trustee Belcher. So we're gonna see what happened, because you could have called if you had questions instead of coming put on the same show we just did for an entire year. Y'all should be tired of that. Y'all should be ready to actually do some progress here in the village, besides sit here and we arguing over a warrant list. Come on now.
So once again, the stories that are being portrayed to the public are not accurate stories. And I have a problem with that, because if you want us to come to a meeting every month to vote on finances, we should be entitled to see the true finances to make accurate decisions.
Also, we have stuff on this list from June. She makes the decisions what checks go out, what y'all tell her to hold and not hold. So that means she had access because we had emails from the bank that showed the people that had access and control, because at some point you guys stopped letting the clerk and Jason House even see what was in the account, and they had to send the information via email. So don't get up here and say nobody had access to the account, because Janice Johnson and I'm sure the finance director Tanjanique had access.
So when you state facts, state the truth. State facts that make sense. Y'all get up here, we put on a show for the outside world. But yet, if you guys want any information, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it again. All y'all have to do is ask. All y'all gotta do is call me. I tell all y'all that don't none of y'all call me. And all you gotta do is call if y'all wanted any type of information, any. I've asked at the last board meeting, and I don't know if you guys recall, the mayor stated that we could put the credit card bills on the warrant list. And I cannot approve bills and not know what I'm approving because I have nothing in front of me to say, the mayor could have went on a trip with the credit card. How would I know? Because the bill is not in front of me.
So when we see these old board meetings and we see the progression of her just basically coming out of her shell after she got what she wanted and showing her true self, people can't be like, oh, they're just jumping on her and she was new and she's a woman and she's a black woman and she's a single mom. Oh my goodness, so many excuses people can make. But at the end of the day, you chose that position, you chose the responsibility given to you, and you need to uphold those responsibilities. And people need to start holding people more accountable when they give them the power. You guys, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave it a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.
So you do know my number, right? Could have got this situation.
Hey, you were on the emails. I'm not, and I'll say this because there is a lot of back and forth. I included it via email.
Have y'all ever emailed Tiffany? Because you know she has never, since she's been the mayor, responded herself to an email.
And then I'm gonna keep saying it, y'all call me if y'all got an issue. Because at the end of the day, they talked about Jesus Christ. So why don't I think y'all are not gonna do me the same way? Somebody that's healing y'all and helping y'all. Same thing I'm over here doing, right? Healing and helping. And again, if you guys want to have an adult conversation with me, you know my number, you know what I live, you know all of that, Belcher. You guys can call me, but you don't. Hold on. You don't call. You guys want to come here and put on a show for what? And it's sad because you guys ran on my ticket, both of y'all, Trustee Belcher and Trustee House. Both y'all did. And when you ran on my ticket, y'all ran on my vision. My vision is to fix our community.
The vision wasn't to rob the city. The vision wasn't for the FBI. The vision wasn't for you to steal all the money